Hey guys, Ollie here at Relentless Comics. Welcome back to the channel and episode number 8 of the Relentless Origins series for Marvel characters. As you can see today, I shall introduce the origin for the character who is a mentor for the Avenger and Marvel's greatest marksman, Hawkeye, the one and only, the Swordsman. As always, with each video I shall talk about the character's origin story, as well as briefly talk about their history, their personality, their powers and abilities. But with that being said, let us dive straight into it. As you know, the first few episodes of the live-action Hawkeye series have been released on Disney+, and we're now on episode 4. Episode 5 is coming out this Wednesday, and we've been introduced to the character of Jacques Duquesne, known as the Swordsman. Now, as a result of this, I want to provide the character's origin to you all so you can gain some further knowledge of the character and follow the series with more context on who he actually is within the comics and how that could potentially translate in the MCU. Now, we don't have a lot of information on the character himself or his character arc / storyline in the MCU. All we really know at this stage is that he is the stepfather of Kate Bishop, and of course he's very proficient with bladed weaponry. Now, Swordsman has a very long and rich story in the comics, and he's actually partly responsible for training Clint Barton at a young age alongside another character called Trickshot. Swordsman has also been a love interest of Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy, and on one occasion he has actually died in order to save her, which we will touch on in more detail within this video. Jacques has been both a villain and an Avenger too. So, what role shall he play in the MCU Hawkeye series? Let me know in the comments section below with what you think, or any sort of ideas that you would like to come to light within the series. Now, let's get into the video itself. Who is the Swordsman? Swordsman is a character created by Stan Lee and Don Heck in 1965, and he first appeared in the Avengers issue number 19, and you guessed it, he is a master swordsman and elite mercenary. He is practically unequalled in all forms of armed combat, especially when he uses bladed weaponry. The first swordsman was Jacques Duquesne, who we shall be speaking about today, this version of Swordsman. And Jacques became a circus performer alongside Trickshot, another character, and during their time as performers they came across a young Clint Barton, who later is known as Hawkeye, and together, both him and Trickshot, they helped train the future Avenger. The origin story of Swordsman. As mentioned briefly, he is a circus performer, and Swordsman was caught stealing money from the circus one day, where all three men worked, and the reason for this was due to Jacques Duquesne being heavily in debt after a gambling addiction, and Hawkeye actually caught Jacques in the middle of this criminal act, and Hawkeye, being sort of almost naive and wanting to be the hero, he attempted to stop and report Swordsman himself on his own to the police. However, Swordsman, obviously being much more experienced and a very lethal combatant at the time, beat him so severely that Swordsman thought Clint was dead. However, he wasn't. He was just very, very injured. Jacques left the circus after this for good, and from there he began a career as a mercenary, which subsequently saw him deported and exiled from several countries where he had committed various different crimes of different levels. Now, a very short time later, Swordsman demanded to be accepted as an Avenger, as he thought that this would be a great way to carry out more serious or extreme criminal activity and get away with it. However, he was rejected after being exposed as a traitor by Hawkeye and Captain America. Jacques continued to try and be accepted as an Avenger. First, he tried sneaking into the Avengers mansion as he believed this would prove himself almost worthy to the Avengers. However, again, this ultimately failed. And following this rejection, he began working with villains instead. And in order to oppose the Avengers directly, he worked alongside and with the Lethal Legion. On another separate occasion, he wanted to try and join again with the Avengers. However, when Captain America directly refused after gaining intelligence from Hawkeye and sort of their latest interaction when Clint was, quite young and being trained at the circus, Swordsman had enough of being rejected, and he actually lashed out at Captain America and attacked him directly. And for a brief moment, Swordsman actually bested Captain America in combat. However, he was soon surrounded by the other members of the Avengers, and he quickly halted. Swordsman was then immediately abducted by the Mandarin, who wished to ally himself with Swordsman in a scheme to destroy Iron Man and the Avengers once and for all. Initially, Swordsman was reluctant, and Mandarin took it in his own hands to actually defeat Swordsman himself, and Swordsman eventually resigned and agreed to go along with the Mandarin's plan, which involved Swordsman spying on the Avengers and working almost as a double agent in sort of a villainous way. The Avengers received a video message from Iron Man in which the original Avenger vouched for Swordsman and convinced the Avengers, the team, to welcome Swordsman into their ranks, although they remained very suspicious of Swordsman. And this video was actually a fake. This was faked by Mandarin himself. However, the Avengers were not aware of this at the time, as Iron Man was not present to say otherwise. When Swordsman learns of Mandarin's true plan to blow up the Avengers when they are sleeping, he attempts to intervene and stop the planned attack, but the Avengers misinterpret his actions and believe he is responsible for it, setting up the bomb, etc. Unbeknownst to them, Swordsman saves their lives and is sharply ejected from the team, ironically after finally proving his worth and having sort of a legitimate desire to be an Avenger and almost turn a new leaf. Swordsman was eventually able to join the Avengers for a very short period of time in order to assist with the assault on Olympus, and later Jacques travelled around the world as a drunken mercenary, as he no longer wanted to pursue crime. Like I say, at this time he's trying to turn over a new leaf and be more of a hero, try and be a good person. And just at the right time, really, within Jacques' life, he met a woman known as Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy, and Mantis really helped Swordsman regain his self-respect, and with her at his side, he once again rejoins the Avengers. However, this was a legitimate sort of new look on life for Jacques, and he was a better person, a better man. She convinced him that he could be a hero, and he was actually still reluctant until he was actually injured on one of Krull's assignments, which is another villain within various storylines as well. Mantis helped him recover, and both Mantis and Swordsman left and sort of escaped to the US, the United States. Now, revitalised, Swordsman asked to rejoin the Avengers, and his sincerity won them over. Swordsman was a valuable member, although he doubted himself very harshly at times. He fell deeply in love with Mantis, but Mantis said to him that, she didn't love him and the feelings were not reciprocated by her. And this, of course, made Swordsman's mindset and look on life again turn from sort of a heroic mindset straight back into his old ways of life. and made him turn almost very dark and villainous. At this time, it was revealed that Mantis was the celestial Madonna, and Kang the Conqueror began a mad quest to make her his bride. He was stopped by the Avengers and another version of himself named Rama Tut. Kang decided that if he couldn't have Mantis, then no one would, and he aimed a ray gun at her in order to kill her. But Swordsman heroically and instinctively jumped in front of Mantis, while Tut was able to grab the gun and alter his aim, ultimately saving Mantis' life. The blast, however, did travel up the Swordsman's sword, fatally wounding him, of course leading to his death. Mantis realised at that time, as he was dying, that she really loved Jacques Duquesne, but of course this was too late. The Swordsman's personality. So the best way that I would be able to describe the Swordsman, just coming from sort of a comic perspective and sort of research that I have done really on the character to create this video, is that he is a socialite. Now this we can clearly see within the MCU. He's very business savvy, and he's a very intelligent man. Now, further sort of aspects of his character that we've seen in the MCU, he's a positive character, he's energetic. However, he does tend to exaggerate these emotions due to his, let's say, his ego. Essentially, he almost fakes these emotions, and socialites tend to be very emotional people anyway, due to their egotistical nature. Although they don't always express their negative emotions too much, again, this will be a very heavily ego-based sort of psyche that he carries. He doesn't want to lose face, he doesn't want to be drawn in a negative way, although he may do bad things. He wants to always be the good guy, the hero, but he might not always do the good or right thing. He can be quite selfish in that way. And really, that's the best way that I can describe Jacques Duquesne, the Swordsman, to you guys. Powers and abilities. So, first of all, let's start off with his abilities. So, the Swordsman is a superb athlete and a formidable, excellent, unarmed combatant. He is a master of bladed weaponry, most notably all forms of the sword, and when it comes to pure swordsmanship, he may even be unequalled. Even characters like Taskmaster, Hawkeye as Ronin, may not even be able to fight at the level that he does when it comes to bladed weaponry. His physical strength. So, Swordsman possesses the normal strength of a human man of his age, his height and his build, who engages in intensive, regular exercise. He's definitely, very athletic, very agile. Now, let's move on to powers, and I say that loosely because, like I say, he is a normal human, just a very elite mercenary, but he does... in some storylines within the comics, he does have a McLuhan sword. And this was a sword that the Mandarin created. So basically, the Mandarin upgraded the Swordsman's sword and attached it with special devices adapted from McLuhan technology, which is a sort of alien race, an ancient alien race. And by pressing one of the buttons on the sword's hilt, the swordsman is able to project various types of blasts, and they have different abilities. This includes an energy beam with a concussive force, a disintegrating ray, a large jet of fire, electrical blasts, or a stream of gas that's able to render opponents unconscious, even superhuman sort of powered characters. Usually they are lower leveled. It works in a similar way to like the Black Widow's gauntlet within the MCU. That's the best way I could sort of compare that sword. He also utilises throwing knives, again, bladed weaponry, something that he'd be very formidable with. So aside from his sword, the swordsman usually carries these throwing knives within sort of a jacket or his utility belt, or both. And, you know, like I say, I hope this does summarise the character well for you, and you can watch the Hawkeye series with some more context and follow it on for the remaining episodes with all this information in mind. So if you have enjoyed this video, please smash the like button, hit the subscribe button down below for more content on this channel. I'm really enjoying creating these videos for you guys. I am looking to increase the uploads per week. I am thinking maybe at the beginning of the new year, or in a month or two, doing 2 videos a week for you. But let me know what you think down below, and we can make that happen. If you have any other video ideas or feedback, then please feel free to leave this in the comment section as well, and I'll respond to all comments and messages. Likewise, I've left my the Instagram page as well for this channel, so you can always send me a message on there as well for any sort of feedback. For more of these videos, ring the notification bell and you'll never miss a new video every Saturday at 1 PM. But again, thank you very much for your support. And as you can all see now, in the next episode of this series, I shall be covering the origin story of a major upcoming character who shall appear within the MCU and the Spider-Man No Way Home movie. It's Sam Raimi's Dr. Octopus. I'll see you all on the next one.